In this movie, we're going to add code to move the playback progress indicator as the video plays back. If you're following along with the exercise files, we're in chapter 9/09_05/begin/video player. We have the video player CS proj file opened up in Blend and opened up in Visual Studio. Back in Blend, you'll notice that we have a progress thumb object, you can see here on the scene, that will be used to display playback progress to the user. Also, if you look at the timelines on this scene, we have a timer animation that we will use as a XAML timer. Back in Visual Studio, the first thing we're going to do is store our timer object and then hook the timer's completed event. We'll do this in the handleLoad method. By placing the cursor at the end of this line, hitting enter twice to create two new lines, and then we'll search for the timer and store it on the this object. We'll use the player UI to call findName on the timer object that we just saw in Blend. Then we'll hook an event handler to its completed event. So we're looking for the completed event. We use the silverlight.createDelegate method to wrap our local method inside of a delegate. And the handler we will call timerTick. Now we're going to add a timerTick method to our JavaScript class. We'll scroll to the left and scroll to the bottom. We'll add a comma, and we'll add our timerTick method, which is a function that will take a sender and event args. In the timerTick handler, we need to find the progress thumb object that we saw in Blend and change its position based on the media element's playback progress. The first code we'll add here is a check to make sure that the video file has been loaded so that the length of the video is available. So again, we'll use the current state property on media element and we'll make sure that the current state is not closed or isn't opening. We'll copy what we just typed in. We'll add an OR clause to the if statement. And we'll verify that current state is also not opening. By doing this, we're verifying that the media file specified by the source property on the media element has been loaded and the properties we need on it are available for us to use. Now we're going to add the code to move the progress thumb. To do this, we'll search for the progress thumb object that we saw in Blend. And to find this, we'll call findName on the sender. And we'll search for progress thumb. We're going to call this variable thumb. Now we'll change the position of the thumb by changing its canvas.left property. To position the thumb, we need to find the playback progress of the media element, which is exposed by the position property. We also need to divide this by the natural duration of the video file, which is exposed by the natural duration property on media element. Dividing the position by the natural duration will give us a percentage, a number between 0 and 1, which we can then multiply by the width of the playback progress area. So to do this, we'll access the media element's position property. And we'll get the seconds property off the position. We'll divide this by the natural duration. The code we just typed will give us a number between 0 and 1. We'll now multiply this by the width of the playback progress area to position the thumb. The width of this area is 640 pixels. Next, we need to add code to restart the timer when the media player is playing back. So we'll add an if clause. As a shortcut, we'll copy this code here because we're going to check the current state again. We'll paste this in using Control-V. We'll change the not equal to be equal to, and we'll change closed to playing. We'll close the if statement, add curly brackets, and start the timer by calling this .timer.begin. Finally, we need to add a line of code into the current state changed handler to start the timer. So we'll scroll up and scroll left till we see the current state changed handler. At the end of this handler, we're going to add the same line, this.timer.begin. By starting the timer after every state change, we will ensure that the thumb will always be in the correct position even if playback is paused or stopped. Now when we press F5 to view this application, you'll see the playback progress thumb move as the video progresses. In the next movie, we're going to show download progress for the media element.